All right, folks. So here is another tutorial for installing Python. So typically, let's say you know uh, if I do my command terminal and if I type in Python and get sure what the version is, and you can see this one doesn't have any Python installed. So there's a possibility that some of you guys might actually get something with respect to Python. Maybe I should try Python 3 and see, no, none of these is installed. So Python is not installed in the system. So if I have to do it from scratch, there is multiple ways in which you can actually install Python. One way is to just Google, say, Python for Windows, or if you're using Mac, you can just do Brew, install Brew or Mac OS, sorry, Mac ports, and then try to install it. So here you can just go to python.org, and as you can see, the current version is Python 3.11.1, and there is also uh, an archived version of Python 2.7, I believe, which is also available that you can download and install it. So the best way to actually put all these things, and then you have to get the IDE separately, whatever IDE you want. And then if you're looking at IPython, you can have to get some IDE that supports that, etc. So in order to do that, you can use one of these what they call as distribution packages, and just Google Anaconda, go to anaconda.com stuff, and then you can see here for Windows they currently have 3.9. So I'm going to hit download, and it's going to download, right? So as it downloads, what you can also do is you can also register for it. I believe there should be some option to register for it, and uh, that's pretty much all there is to it. And then we will actually jump into, once the download is done, jump into the installation. So yeah, the installation is done. So I'm going to actually click on Anaconda. So I'm actually going to install also a few packages that actually are coming with Anaconda. So go up to next, agree. I'll just say, make it for everybody. Uh, and it's going to be stored in program data Anaconda 3. Yeah, so it just basically also says you can also do this since I do not have any Python. This one also says that register Anaconda as a system, Python 3.9. So whatever comes with Anaconda is going to be there. If you already have an existing one, so then it's also going to ask you to store, include Anaconda in your path. So this would be that. Let's click on install and uh, basically have the installation complete. And once the installation is complete, so as we wait for that installation to complete, so another thing that will also happen is if you're using Mac, so you will need to install the Mac version of it, and pretty much you will get a, a package file, and then you will actually need to install the package file, which will have you know its own version of Python included in it. You could choose to use an external version, internal version, and so on. So the Anaconda package itself supports all these other sub packages, right? From MATLAB or Matplotlib to Pandas to Spider. It also uh, has its support to PyCharm, TensorFlow, Juniper, Juniper Labs, all those different things. Okay. So now the installation is done. Let's say go to next. Yeah, and so yeah, you can also look at these few tutorials, but for now, let's finish it off. And once that is done, I want to just open it up. Let's see if I can actually do a conda info just to check if it's been installed. It looks like it's not able to pick up, so I'm just gonna really just do the command prompt again just to make sure it's there. and do Anaconda info, and it says that's not available. So we need to first make sure that the path is set. So we are in here, and it looks like we are, should be in this particular Anaconda. Okay, can't seem to find that. You see if it's in this one. Um, okay, let me see. Where did I uh, install it? And let's just search where, and so that we have to include that into your path. So we're going to search for, since it's not recognized, Conda is not recognized, we have to include the path where it is installed. So just going back, let me see, it's going to be in program data. So let's click on this, go to, showing hidden items. And here is your program data. And there is where your Anaconda is stored. And that's basically, the directory. And we are actually looking at this file, I believe, which is, yeah, where you have the Conda and activate, deactivate. So though that is the stuff that is there. So I'm actually going to click on this, copy this point over here, and we are going to update our information. So let's say we are going to actually do, yeah, actually, uh, that is also useful. Having Conda in your path is useful. So we're going to actually do environment, edit environment settings or variables, go to environment variables, and I'm going to go to this path, and I'm actually going to paste that location over there. Okay, okay, now everything is good. Again, let's close this guy, open it up, and now there you go. You just have Conda info. It's basically going to check where Conda is installed, and it is going to get some information regarding, what is the Python version that you have, what is the Conda version you have, and all those different things are all spit out. Okay, so you can also figure out what is, you basically have a base uh, thing, and it's going to also tell you what packages are there in the base. So another way to look at that information is just go to this and this tip, type in like Anaconda, and you're going to get something like your dashboard, Anaconda dashboard. You're going to open this up, and you are going to, now as you can see, it's just starting up for the first time, running multiple times, and you are going to see uh, the Anaconda dashboard come up, and still waiting for it. Okay, and in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go get into this uh, user workspace. I don't need anymore to look at these things. So hidden view, I'm going to go to these user workspaces, and this is would be my UAV workshop. And I'm over here. I'm going to actually create a workspace. Okay, so I'm going to actually put this on here. It's going to be UAV underscore workspace, and this is basically the workspace where I'm actually going to install the new environment and so on. So going back to this guy over here, and it says that it already exists in version. You want to update it now. You you can say yes and update it. So, but I'm not going to do. I'm just going to say, no for now and remind it later. But you guys should click on yes. Okay. All right. Because I don't want to, when I'm doing the recording, I don't want to. So here, as you can see, by default, I have, this is my base, that's my environment, right? And these are, if I click over here, that's my base environment, and these are all the packages that are installed, right? So the packages that are installed includes Jupyter Notebook, Jupyter Lab, also have a PowerShell prompt, I interactive, and then I have Spider, and some of these things that are uh, you know uh, basically that are here are nothing but online versions. That's why they're not really installed. They're basically here. And then some of these ones where you say install, 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 like PyCharm, etc. These guys are all yet to be installed. So you can also run R. It installs RStudio. You have the PyCharm IDE, but mostly what we will be doing is we will be running either the Jupyter Lab, the notebook, or the Spider in this case. Okay. Now, one other thing I want to do is I want to actually do launch the Spider and check it out. This is actually in my base environment, but if you create any other environment, we are only going to take a subset of this and create a different environment. You will need to then also redo whatever we are doing it in the base or the core environment. So this is actually the core environment, and this is your Spider IDE. And you can actually look at the online uh, lecture notes that are there, where which explains about the different sections of this you know uh, Spider, and also it allows you to basically you know bring in some plugins, right? So you can actually uh, import or download some plugins and also do that. So for now, you have this IPython console, but you can also have a terminal, and so you also have the plots, variables, etc. So this is where you can write the code, and then you can actually send it. So here you can actually say, so use an import function, right? And you can actually import any library you want, but this is an interactive Python over here. So you can also execute something like print, say hello world, and there you go. So that's basically what it is. It basically tells you if I type in this, you're going to get that, right? So this is an interactive console. You can also look at the history. So this is basically what we will be using. But remember that since I'm actually running it off the base of that channel, all this is actually running it off the main channel. So later on, you can actually go to this learning, and there are some, as you can see that there are getting started with Anaconda. So you can actually use some of these guys are actually available for free. You can actually go through them and you know get some more knowledge about it. And as I said, you can also register here and you can sign in with this and get connected to all these different repositories too. So this is a very quick tutorial on how to install Anaconda. And now I, and then I think if you are down here and if you're actually doing it uh, Python, and if you put version, uh, yeah, this one is not going to show up, but it's going to actually show up in the other case. So it's you can actually come up here, go to the environment, let me see, and you can actually click on this, and you can see open up a terminal. So now this terminal, you can see with the base, is will have Python. Sorry, wrong name. There you go. So that's Python version is available. So this is how you can actually execute it. So you won't be able to do it in the command, but remember this is actually the base command. And in another tutorial, I will explain how to create a different, environment, or what we call as a, virtual environment. Okay, thanks for listening.